You are listening to the High Spot Podcast, Adventures with the Trendsetter. I'm your host, Brian Berga. Guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. We have special guest, adult film star Brenna Sparks. Really excited to have her on the show, promoting a lot of things that she was looking forward to promoting, and as well having a nice little chat with her. But guys, if you like this show, Adventures with the Trendsetter, and what I've been posting on our YouTube channel, make sure you listen to our show, the High Spot Podcast, which we do weekly. We post that a new episode every Friday. I do that with my tag team partner, Jeff Martin. We are the Jersey Wrecking Crew, and we talk about all the world of professional wrestling. Got a great episode out every single week, and you guys can catch that. Catch it on our website, brand new website, highspotpodcast.com. But make sure you like us on social media too. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. Very simple, all one word, at High Spot Podcast. Also, you guys can listen to this episode as well as watch it on YouTube. You can listen to it on Apple Podcasts. If you leave a 5-star rating and review, we would greatly appreciate it, guys. It only takes a few seconds to do that. You can also listen to the show on various devices such as SoundCloud, TuneIn, Google Play, Stitcher, and Podbean. We're also available on several networks as well, which we're very proud of being a part of. Cheap Hops Podcast Network, the Shining Wizards Network, and the B Plus Player Radio Network. So very happy to share those platforms with them. Their content, all the great content they put on the show, not just the High Spot Podcast. And make sure, like I mentioned before, you check out our YouTube channel. You can listen to the Adventures of the Trendsetter and also watch videos that I post out from my adventures at AVN, for what Jeff and I do for Ring of Honor Supercard, for all the other indie promotions we go around the New York metropolitan area, and all the stuff that we do related to professional wrestling. You guys can catch it. Just go to YouTube, type in the word High Spot Podcast, click the channel, leave a like, subscribe, be a part of the crew, guys, and you'll see such great interviews that we're running kind of basically every day. We're trying to post new content out there if we possibly can, and you'll see exclusive interviews with such stars as former Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champions LAX, Alberto El Patron, Sienna the Savage, also Bullet Club members, guys, the Villain Marty Skrull, Adam Hangman Page, got Jay Lethal, Josh Woods from Ring of Honor, plus much more. Plus, you also have the mini-series that I have here, which is called Adventures to the Trendsetter, so you guys will enjoy that too. So really excited that I had a chance to interview Brenna Sparks. Started at AVN, kind of knew about her. I saw a lot of interviews and videos as I was preparing to go to AVN in Las Vegas, it being the first time for me, obviously. And I got to give a huge a shout out there and a huge credit to the Rub PR department, which kind of set up this whole thing and basically helped me out to get in contact with Brenna. So if you guys want to follow them and look at all the clientele they have, which are the new and up-and-coming stars and pretty well-known names in the adult film industry, check them out on Twitter at The Rub PR and their website, therubpr.com. So, guys, really excited here to talk to Brenna Sparks. Like I said, it just kind of flowed naturally. She'll be the first one to tell you that she's not usually someone that enjoys interviews very much because either she gets nervous or tries to, think a lot of, how she wants to answer the question, just not kind of jump up and say what's on her mind, which is great, and it's very admirable for her to be able to do that. So I thought it was a great interview. You guys be the judge. I had a great time talking to Brenna Sparks here on the High Spot Podcast, Adventures with the Trendsetter. It is another episode of the High Spot Podcast, Adventures with the Trendsetter. Here I am, guys, and like I said, I don't consider myself very lucky at times, but I would in this case because I'm speaking to somebody who I admire greatly, very admirer of her work, but also her work ethic and where she's gotten to this point on. Her name is Brenna Sparks, guys. If you don't know who she is, what is wrong with you? She is here on the High Spot Podcast, Adventures with the Trendsetter. Brenna, thank you so much for coming on. How are you today?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, no, thank you. You made time for it. I simply just gave out the invite, and you graced us with your presence. First thing I want to ask you, I didn't get a chance to ask you this before, because I tried to go to AVN, and I went there in Las Vegas, first time for me, so I got a chance to look at the lay of the land. Really crazy time in Las Vegas, especially during AVN. What was that experience like for you in terms of seeing all the people, all your supporters coming to see you? Was it very humbling at times sometimes? I mean, do you get a chance to look back and think, wow, all these people are here to kind of see me?
Definitely. It was like very overwhelming. Well, it's my second AVN. Last time I was, I think, 2 or 3 months new in the industry. Mm-hmm. So it was really, really scary. And then my second AVN, which was, in January, it was very overwhelming as well because I had such a busy schedule. I would be pretty much at Hard Rock at 8 a.m. and I would leave around 6 p.m. and I would be at like 2-3 different booths at that day. And I would have constantly, like, people were wanting to take pictures, and it was awesome meeting my fans. Some of them sent me Funko Pops. I don't know if you know what that is. It's
No, I
like
do.
these
That's
little
awesome.
cute little, yeah. It's these cute little figurines, and some of my fans bought them for me. It is amazing. Like,
Well, that's great. They
yeah.
they obviously care, and they pay attention because they know you like it. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm a big Funko Pop collector. So.
Well, when it came to the events of Las Vegas, like I've been told, and I learned from firsthand experience being there, that it's really chaotic and crazy. From the performer standpoint, though, give us a little behind the scenes. Like how much prepping do you have to do prior to those events? Because you don't just show up there at 8 o'clock, or show up there at, for example, 12 or 1 o'clock, and then stay till 6. There's a lot of prep that's involved. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I got up at like 5:30, just do hair and makeup, make sure I got, my posters ready, my banners, DVD, stickers ready to get, sold. And, you have to eat and like run around, and there's a lot of prepping, and then you have to order DVDs, multiple from different companies. So I was not prepared. I kind of did everything last minute. When I mean last minute, I'm saying I ordered my posters, banners, and got DVDs probably like a week before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely unprepared. But I'm probably the worst person to ask about how to prep for Avian.
No, because everybody's different, I'm kind of the same way. I'm in the same boat you are. I plan for a trip. I know it weeks in advance. And for some reason, no matter what it is I do, I always wait. It's not I do it intentionally, but it always seems like I'm waiting last minute to do things. So I'm rushing around. I forgot to do this. I need to do that. And, I just want people to know, because from the fans' perspective, for myself going to these events, everything is laid out, so it looks really nice. But I don't think a lot of people understand the amount of work it takes to get to that point, because you guys as performers just don't show up all glamorous. So I'm sure it's hard to imagine you waking up and not looking glamorous. And, it's like, a lot of work goes into it. So just another sense of appreciation for me, at least, directed towards you for all the work that you guys do to get ready for those types of events.
Yeah, I wish I had like more of an assistant to help me, but I didn't.
Well, you should. Well, there's always next year, basically.
Yeah, next year I'll be even more prepared. I should have been, but I don't know. I'm really bad at organizing.
Yeah, you and me both, sister. Are you going to any of the Exotica events? There's one coming up in Denver, or do you just strictly stay for AVN?
I got invited to the New Jersey one, actually. I'm debating if I want to go.
Please go, because I'm going.
I'm debating. I got asked if I wanted to sign at the Ink Angels booth. So
it's a really nice booth.
I'm debating. Yeah.
Well, the only thing I would.
It's so far.
No, yeah, of course it's so far. I mean, it took a while. It's like a 5-hour flight from there to obviously New Jersey. But again, you always have the benefit. You're the backdrops, the New York City area, so you can always visit that place too. At the same time, it's a nice atmosphere. Now, I haven't been to the other Exotica events as well, but I heard they're all nice. But I always hear from people that they like New Jersey because it's been there for quite a while, and just it kind of preps you up for AVN and gets you excited for it. So if you do go, please do. If not, it's completely understandable. It would be great to see you at Exotica in New Jersey. I'm sure your fans would appreciate seeing you there.
I gotta see how many fans I have in the East Coast. I have to see first. I am still debating. I just wonder if I have a lot of fans on the East Coast.
Well, you have one in me, so there you go. That's one at least.
Yeah.
Talking about your work in terms of everything, a lot of stuff's coming out, releases, and something that I thought was pretty cool is that something coming out from Wicked Pictures, Axel Braun's Asian Connection. Saw the trailer for it. It was awesome. You have a solo cover on it, which looks great and amazing. Can you talk a little bit about that project and how fun was it working on that one?
I really liked the pictures, how it came out. I thought the way the photographer shot it was a lot different than how I usually do pictures, because it was more like soft. It's more like fashion-y. It's not more like, you do spreads in the picture, like, you're spreading your pussy lips. But I thought it was more like delicate and pretty, So what else? My co-star was Mr. P, and that was the first time I shot with him. So I was really, really excited. I've heard really great things about him.
Yeah, I met him at AVN. He's a really nice guy, and he knows his wrestling too.
Huh?
I said I met him at AVN in Las Vegas. I did an interview with him. It's going to come out in the next couple of days. A really nice guy, and he really knows a lot. For example, the High Spot podcast, we cover the world of professional wrestling. Last year in November, I kind of ventured out doing Exotica and AVN in January. So really knows his stuff and really nice. He's kind of old school mentality and really works hard at what he does. So I'm sure you had a great time with him. And like I said, maybe down the road you guys do a few more scenes. He seems to be a really nice guy.
You guys are both into wrestling?
Yeah, because I interviewed him, and what I did was I was basically making comparisons. Like I'll ask you. Like, I cover the world of professional wrestling. So in professional wrestling, you hear the words WWE, you hear Ring of Honor, New Japan, all this stuff out there, and it's a very competitive business because everybody wants that TV time. Everybody wants to be recognized so they can sell their merch, be the star of the show, of the company, and have that.
So cool.
Yeah, and so we knew our history. He was kind of trying to quiz me, trying to test me, and little did he know he was testing the wrong guy because I completely schooled him on that. But the funny comparison about it, though, is I said that the industry is very competitive. And I asked him the question, which I'll ask you. Do you find in terms of, I know, you've been in the business and from your experiences, is it as competitive as people might think from the outside looking in? Or is it strictly more just competition with yourself, always trying to get better?
Okay, well, a lot of people see it as like competition, like all the other talents. I don't see it as competition. I see it as competition with myself. I'm only going to say it's because there's not a lot of Asian performers in the U.S., You know
what?
I don't really
Asa Akira told me the same thing.
Like, she's my role model.
Yeah, I know you love her. So when I interviewed her, I was like, I had to find you, but I couldn't find you. I interviewed her, yeah. It's up on our YouTube channel on the High Spot podcast. She was amazing, so nice and kind. I don't know how I kept it together, but yeah, she was just so cool and awesome. And she said it too, like, in terms of competition, there's not a lot of Asians out there. So there is room for everybody in terms of that.
I mean, in Japan, there's a lot. I just don't, there's not a lot in the U.S. I wonder why. And I have tattoos, so I'm kind of in my own niche category.
Which makes you look badass, too. Yeah, you look awesome with your tattoos.
Yeah, I'm not very alternative, though. I don't think I fall into that category.
Well, I think not
I have a lot of tattoos.
Yeah, but not with the tattoos, though. All. But I think with that being said, in your personality, I think not just of what you portray during your scenes, but also I've listened to a lot of interviews you've done. You just have a unique style about you, and I wouldn't know anything about the adult film industry. But when I looked at your photos in terms of your spreads, and I was like, wow, that person has that it. And I think it's more in the eyes. You can kind of tell when somebody's laser focused or when somebody is kind of just doing it for the sake of doing it. But that's my opinion.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. Do you feel you've distinguished yourself so far in this business to the point where I know you questioned before, like, how many fans I have on the East Coast, but do you feel you're on the right path right now to get more recognition and to kind of get where you want to be in terms of your goals in the business? I
definitely think I'm in the right path. Well, honestly, because, I'm gaining more fans than I'm losing, which is,
always a good thing. Exactly.
That's good. I'm also, I've noticed I've been gaining a lot of fans in different kind of, because I have a lot of, interest in hobbies. I'm gaining fans, and I just started, getting into gaming. Yeah,
you're a gamer, too, that's a whole new other platform of people out there that would look at you for the first time.
Do you play video games?
Yeah, I do. Not to the extent where, for example, they have these huge conventions and these, I've seen stadiums filled to capacity watching individuals play a tournament game on the computer or on their...
It's kind of cool.
It's cool. It's awesome. I don't really understand it. I'm not negative towards it, but I don't really get it. But, for example, I've been caught on YouTube sometimes. For example, one of the games I like so much is Batman Arkham Knight, and I was playing that game, and sometimes I'd get stuck. So I'd go to YouTube, and I see somebody playing the game and advancing, and I'm like, how did he do that? Oh, that's what he did. And I'd go back and play my game and try to advance that way. So it's kind of like a modern-day cheat, but there are YouTube channels dedicated to people just playing video games. Obviously, internet connection where people can play as teams and things of that nature. So, yeah, when I first saw you promote that on YouTube, I saw it. I was like, wow, she's definitely entering into a new world where not a lot of adult film stars are going into, because a lot of gamers see somebody like you, for example, like, wow, I'm going to follow that person because she knows her stuff.
Yeah, I'm not an expert at gaming. I just like to play to have fun.
Yeah, or even that too. I mean,
there's people.
there are people that appreciate that too, especially when they're staring at you. I'm sure it's not difficult for them to be like, you know what, I can subscribe to this channel. I'm not going to complain. Let's be honest.
I'm pretty open about like sucking at video games, but I mean, some of them like to watch me, and I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot easier, right, than supposed to doing a scene. You're just in there playing video games with a camera.
Yeah, I mean, I made a Twitch, but sometimes I like playing games on Periscope because it's easier. Twitch, you have to like do all these programs and stuff, and you got to set up, and I'm just a little lazy to do that.
I understand.
A few times. So.
Yeah, the only reason why I don't like Periscope particularly is because the video quality and the audio tend to be choppy sometimes. So it's not necessarily the best. It's not the best sound, but again, I can understand your point because sometimes Twitch can be a little complicated at times. Brenna, when it comes to this industry and the fact that you guys dictate your schedules and are very busy in terms of, trying to get bookings, trying to get yourself work, and either, choosing or rejecting offers depending on your scheduling, how easy is it for you to balance all those things out? Because something that I try to preach a lot when we're doing the show, talking about the world of professional wrestling now here in the adult film industry, is that it's very easy to get lost sometimes in the journey because you're so worried about the destination to get to where it is you want to be that you don't enjoy it. Do you have the ability of balancing it out where you're actually enjoying the process right now that you're dealing with in your career and not worrying so much about, I have to reach a certain goal by a certain time?
I would say it's definitely hard balancing the adult industry in my life, only because I just recently got a vanilla job in tech industry for Internet of Things cybersecurity. I started just doing marketing for a friend.
Which we'll talk in a few minutes.
And it just became hard. It's just like I had an OnlyFans, and I would be very slow at just even uploading videos, and it just takes a lot of time editing videos, and it's definitely becoming hard to kind of balance both of those things. And I do love being in the adult industry, but it's hard because I like both. I do like being in the adult industry a little bit more because it's a lot more fun.
Yeah, of course. No, I mean, fun in terms of not obviously of what you're doing, but at the same time, I would imagine, though, there seems to be more flexibility in your schedule that way, or no?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I do camming as well. I can just literally log in whenever I want to. With shooting, it's just kind of just I have to fly out because there's not a lot of, studios in Vegas, you know what I mean? And I have to just leave my cats here and just leave, and then it's I have to do work at home. But I do work on the computer, so I mean that's nice.
No, definitely it is nice. Now, Brenna, talk to me a little bit about cryptocurrency. I'm a newbie here. Like I said, I've looked it up, I've done it. Still trying to understand certain parts of it, but how are you involved in it in terms of, I know you invest in it. So what experiences or what kind of advice can you give me if it's something that I would want to dive into in the future?
I'm definitely not an expert. For some reason, everyone thinks I'm an expert.
Compared to me, you are, because you know more about it than I do.
I'm more like a cheerleader in cryptocurrency.
Okay. Well, if you're a cheerleader, then what would be the benefits of something like that? I'm saying you're the cheerleader. What would be some of the benefits to that?
The benefits. Well, honestly, you get to cut off dealing with banks. I honestly have to deal with so much bullshit with banks all the time. One, they freeze my accounts because they think, someone's doing, sketchy behavior, which is just me. I'm just buying a lot of stuff,
Yeah, of course.
Time. Or you want to send money to someone, large chunks, but you have to wait days. But, what's awesome is you could just wait a few minutes, anywhere in the world. You just send it and it's just there in a few minutes. There's a lot of coins out there. I have a lot of favorite coins. Do you invest? You said you invest?
No, I'm thinking of investing. I mean, I'm at the age right now where I should have started earlier, but I'm always interested in investing. I'm always interested in learning what's out there. But me being a very novice, and I know you said you wouldn't consider yourself an expert, but in the terms of I love hearing people that are involved in it because it gives me a good insight of what it is. But yes, I'm interested in investing. I don't know if I'm going to invest in this, but just seeing what the benefits are of cryptocurrency.
The benefits for me especially because, I'm, a sex worker. There's companies like PayPal and Google Wallet that would just shut down your account just because you're a sex worker.
Really?
I don't believe it's right. Yeah. And there's a lot of girls that have their accounts shut down just because they're sex workers. And, what's awesome about cryptocurrency is there's no discrimination against that. So I see it as a benefit. You cut off a middleman.
That's true.
And you get to also invest.
Exactly. And you're in control of it now. You don't have to worry about dealing with banks and third parties that might interfere with that. And then it causes you more headaches than it is, benefits towards it.
And it uses like cryptography, just to transfer money as well. So it's safe.
No, yeah, it is. It sounds like it's safe, and like I said, I need to do more research on that myself. But I would also compare it too close to, like, for example, I've noticed a lot of adult performers not only obviously shoot for other companies, but a lot of them on myvids.com, which you are as well, which is basically your own content you're putting out there. Do you find that also the equivalency of it's basically your content, you own it, so it's a little bit easier for you in terms of you reap the benefits more than if you're going through, for example, working for another production company?
I put my videos in OnlyFans and ManyVids. It's kind of just like, I don't care if it sells here. I'm just going to put it in a bunch of sites. And if it sells, it sells, They take a large cut. And
Really?
Actually, 40% is a lot,
It is.
But, but I still like them because it's easy and simple.
And it's convenient. Yeah, no, I understand that point of view. Exactly. Brenna, a few more here, and I thank you for your time and greatly appreciate it. When it comes to working, and I think I've heard you say in interviews before where you don't like to look back at your work, but would you consider yourself highly critical of yourself and things that you do, maybe outside the adult film industry where you're obviously trying to be successful, but are you able to kind of just let things kind of go, or are you more hands-on that you want to be handling things because you can do it right yourself?
Am I critical of myself? Honestly, all the time. I say I always pick at just everything, like how I looked here, or did I gain weight, or even just everything, how the videos look, how if I make the videos, I'm just very I try to make it. I'm like a perfectionist, you know what I mean? And definitely, I would say I'm definitely hard on myself and how I go about just my own productions of videos and pictures.
Yeah, well, it sees in terms of the quality that you're doing, it really feels that, if you're doing it yourself and being hands-on on it, it's definitely shown within your work and everything you're doing at this point. And it's amazing how fast time goes by. But in 2018, for the rest of 2018, is there anything more besides work-related things that you're looking forward to? Meaning, sometimes, for example, I'll ask people, what they plan on doing. And I never really ask them, what's your New Year's resolution, because people make that and break that quicker than they say it. Is there anything you're looking forward to accomplishing in the new year that you hope to achieve? Maybe learning a new instrument, maybe picking up a new hobby, doing something maybe outside of what you're currently doing now. Anything comes to mind when it comes to doing that?
Anything that I'm looking forward to, hobbies. I'm definitely looking forward to trying new hobbies. I've had a lot of hobbies that I've wanted to try, like fencing. I'm trying to cook more. I used to cook a lot, so I want to start cooking. I want to start making fancier food and learning plating, how to make it look very pretty.
Yeah.
What else? The market in crypto has been bad, so hopefully by spring or late spring or summer it's better. I definitely have some coins that I really need to start looking up on and investing again. And what else am I looking? Oh, I want to start working out. I feel like I keep saying that.
Yeah, everybody says that.
I'm a gym. Yeah. I'm a gym I've only been to twice. I really need to start picking up on working out more. And what else?
Well, is there a particular look you're going for? I think you look fine now. Is there a particular look you're going for in terms of working out, or more of just being healthy and more health conscious?
Just tightening and toning up.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you? Do you have any hobbies and New Year's resolutions or anything that you're looking forward to?
Oh, yeah, a lot of things. And I'll keep it short because I know your times are very valuable. But basically, it's working out is one thing. I've been working out ever since I was in high school. I think I have a pretty good physique. But at the same time, you're always trying to take it to the next level. And I think at this stage, I'm 32 years old. So it's not that I'm trying to train in terms of how much you lift, but more transitioning to functional training, meaning being a little bit nicer on the joints, a little bit nicer on the neck and the back, because as we get older, unfortunately, it happens to all of us, you don't want to be feeling the pain as you get older. You want to feel more flexible. Been doing a lot more yoga. In terms of business, obviously working here on the High Spot podcast and kind of letting this be my avenue of source of income. There are a lot of things that I like to do, dive into television, dive into doing commercials, dive into acting, which is something I did in high school, which I really enjoyed because it kind of made me break out of my shell. I was a very shy kid growing up. You might not know that by me doing the interview with you, because I just feel when I do an interview with people, it's the most authentic thing in the world, because it's just a conversation. I'm not trying to make this to be like, well, we're going to be talking about this, this, and this. No, it's two people talking to one another, which unfortunately the art of the conversation has kind of died, especially at this day and age. So, building up the company, building up the business, and ultimately doing something similar to what you and what I see a lot of adult film entertainers, or I see a lot of actors or athletes do something you love to do. And basically, I'll be a happy guy and get paid for it, obviously.
I would say a lot of people don't think I'm like an introvert, but I'm very, very introverted, and I suck at interviews. So
no, you don't. You've been amazing at this interview.
Yeah, podcasts I'm not really good at. I just because with interviews, it depends. If it's like a written one, I like to just sit and think about it. I feel like I can't talk, give a quick response. I feel like I'm definitely a type of person that has to like just think it out before saying, because I feel like then I mess it up, and then I'm just like blabbing on about something that doesn't even make sense.
Well, let me ask you a question then real quick before you wrap up here. Do you think when you have normal conversations with, for example, your friends or other people around your inner circle, you're a lot looser and say whatever you want to say than you would be during an interview?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Well, I think you've done a great job here. I don't really think you've held back. I know you've probably wanted to listen to the question because I might tend to ramble on a little bit, but I think you've done a great job here. And as I said, the more you do, I think it just comes with the territory, because as successful as you've been so far, and I've seen your journey, and God knows how far you're going to go in this business and other things you want to do. It's gonna be an unfortunate and probably a fortunate part of your lifestyle, where people want to just get to know you and your personality. My main goal here at the end, Brenna, is to, once it's all over and I say goodbye to you, hopefully it wasn't as bad as you thought it was going to be and you kind of enjoyed yourself. That's my goal as a host to my guest, and hopefully the guest feels more comfortable where they want to come back on again. So that's the ultimate goal we're doing here.
Yeah, you're definitely awesome.
Yeah,
and I definitely had fun.
Oh, I had fun speaking to you. Like I said, hopefully... You're saying? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's just like, I didn't want it to make it be like, oh, yeah, she's like really shy or something. It's just like, yeah, just like super introverted. That's all.
That just makes you more adorable. It really does. Because it's authentic. I mean, I'm shy as well, but sometimes you have to overcome that. But Brenna, I've never had a chance to say this to you. I'm saying this to you now. Hopefully I get a chance to see you either back at AVN or at Exotica if you choose to go to the one on the East Coast, which I hope you do. I have so much respect for what you do, so much appreciation for your work ethic and what you've done to this stage in your career, and knowing that the honor I've had of speaking to you for a few minutes and knowing where you're going to take your career the next step, I couldn't be more than happy. I know there's a lot of scrutiny, especially in this business, but at least from one fan speaking to you, I wish nothing but the very best for you and down the road for 2018 and 2019 and the rest of the years ahead.
Thank you so much. It was awesome.
And hopefully you make it over the East Coast and we could do this one-on-one. So that'd be awesome.
Definitely. I'll let you know if I'm ever out in the East Coast.
Awesome. And if you guys want to follow what she's doing and follow her and all her social media platforms out there, where can they find you on social media, Brenna?
You can find me on Twitter, Brenna Sparks XXX, and Instagram is Brenna Sparks Official.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brenna. I greatly appreciate it, and we'll see you down the road.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And that was Brenna Sparks. I could literally talk to her for hours, but I knew she had a limited amount of time, and I really appreciated her taking time out of her busy schedule to speak to me on the show, too. So if you guys want to follow Brenna Sparks and see what she's up to and everything she's doing, follow her on Twitter. She's very active on it, at Brenna Sparks XXX, all one word. You can also check her out on Instagram as well, at Brenna Sparks Official. So guys, make sure you do that. Give her a follow-up, represent the crew, and support her as I support here in the High Spot Podcast. Supports her as well. Can't end the show by not also giving a big shout out to the Rub PR for obviously setting this whole thing up. Great amount of thanks goes out to them. You guys can also follow them on Twitter at the Rub PR. Also their website. We see all their clientele, all the press releases they put out for their current stars that they have part of their agency. Their website is therubpr.com. So guys, that was it. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. A new episode will be coming out very shortly after this, so I appreciate you guys for your patience. I know it's something that I kind of push from time to time, but again, like I said, I always appreciate for the fact that you guys are very patient with me, because Jeff and I run around and do a lot of things, but again, the one thing we do this for is one reason, and one reason only. We do this for you, the crew.